I'm going to tell JQ we're live. Then I'm going to go back to my burner account.
Sick, bro. We are live.
And
Look at it. Just very sick.
we're live from this situation. And we're live on that situation. That situation. Uh-oh. That situation. There we go. It's just about to create a loop, an audio loop from hell. It's on the verge of an audio loop from hell, but I have to get the ASMR going. A little ASMR action.
Do I wear headphones for those? ASMR?
You don't have to wear headphones. I do have a live Capra video pulled up, so if we end up watching that, then you'll probably need headphones for that. But
that's okay. I've heard it. I know what it's like.
I think I'll probably close out the show with live Capra stuff,
Cool.
just so you don't have to listen to it if you don't want to. Yeah, cool. Looks like we're good on my end now. How are things looking on your end?
Things look great over here.
Yeah.
I had it pulled up on my phone just so I could see her as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you pull it up on your phone, just mute it so it doesn't.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it muted. Also, it's like it's an extra viewer.
Yeah.
An extra viewer is cooler.
We love extra views.
Yeah, with Twitch, it's really hard to get viewers. We're getting hundreds, sometimes thousands of viewers from TikTok just for the live show.
Oh wow.
We did a yoga stream the other day. It got like 3,000 views just for the live show, just for our live stream.
It's insane.
Just for
Twitch is pretty tough. I tried to stream one time on Twitch doing I was playing Elden Ring.
Oh yeah.
And I got a few just because I had posted it like, hey, come watch me try to figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah, Twitch is really tough. We've been playing around with the category, and right now we're toying with ASMR. So I have an ASMR video playing in the upper right.
I'm seeing it right here. That's really cool.
Yeah, just so we're not like lying about the fact that we are indeed, playing ASMR in the background or not. We did pools, hot tubs, and beaches for a while as a category, and we get a lot of views from that category, but like no one gives a shit about watching our like dumb stoner talk show when they're just trying to like jerk off to softcore porn.
Are you trying to like dive into a category that's just less frequented by people in podcasts and stuff like that?
Yeah, we just find that when the category is like talk show or what is it called? Buttons just chatting. We just get bumped way down in their algorithm.
I would imagine there's a lot of people in that category.
Exactly. So Twitch is tough, but yeah, we get good traction on TikTok for the live stuff, and then the clips are actually starting to do well on YouTube Shorts. So we're like halfway away from being able to monetize on YouTube. So it's just
I think you're covering the big ones. I think TikTok's the big one these days.
Yeah, for sure.
YouTube as well. I don't think YouTube's ever going anywhere.
Right. Yeah, and we're not
of the newer stream system. I don't know how new it is, but it's making its way.
For sure. Yeah, and we're not even really bothering with Facebook too much, other than like doing some ads.
Nobody wants to sit on Facebook and watch something.
Yeah.
They're there to scroll.
Exactly. How you doing, Buttons?
Well, everything is re-streaming, but when you look at the quality on our Instagram, you're only seeing like part of the screen.
I think that's normal.
Is that?
Yeah, if just text JQ if you don't know what life is, but I'm pretty sure that's normal.
I think this is the best version.
Okay. This is very relaxing.
It's just you on.
I know I'm watching this this scooper over here.
Yeah, that's the other thing we've been doing is like trying out different ASMR genres. So, like this one's kinetic sand. We've also done.
It's very satisfying.
It is really satisfying. Let's see. JQ text me. Yeah, JQ's live. Ooh, yeah.
I turned on like the noise canceling part of it just in case you can hear my dog bark. Can you hear that?
I heard it a little bit, but it wasn't a big deal at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about
She
that.
does that a lot.
Are you still living at the same place?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, my dog just goes a little bit crazy sometimes.
I love how in the South you can get a big fucking house and it's not that expensive.
Right.
It's amazing. I mean, for the same price, for like, I mean, okay, let's just say $1 million. That gets you like a crab shack in LA.
Yeah, yeah. You're living a dream out here.
Yeah, yeah.
You got multiple driveways.
Oh my god.
That's sick.
Good. Bibba Buttons? Not good. Not yet. Do you need help with anything?
I'm just not quite sure why it's doing that.
The Instagram thing? I think it just always looks like shit on Instagram.
Oh. Well, that's dumb.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's dumb and I don't like it. Like, maybe I just make it really tiny. Because otherwise there's no point in resplitting it to...
yeah, let's just figure that out another time. The live Instagram thing doesn't matter that much.
Okay.
Just get TikTok going.
Simulcasting's always weird.
It really is. Yeah,
Plug it in every little location. It's stupid.
the show just looks like crap on our Instagram live, so that's something we have to figure out. We've been
Yeah, I feel like it would be the same on Facebook. They kind of just compress everything on both of those apps.
Yeah. Hey, we have 5 whole viewers on Twitch. That's pretty good for us on Twitch.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm like, I'm frustrated as fuck, but I'm glad something's going fucking right around here.
I'm one of them. So what's up, everybody else?
They don't need to know that. It's all genuine, new, not anybody here. You can't, it's like if you're like at a show and like people are like, how many people are there? And you're like, 15 people. Like it was like 15 to 20 people showed up. And then you're like, yeah, but it was, 10 of it was everybody's girlfriends.
And the band.
And the band, the other bands that were about to play.
Yeah.
We just tell everybody that about 15 to 30 people showed up, We don't need to say that they were our part. Yeah, there was a lot of people. There was a big turnout. Maybe that's just the LA in me. I'm just like, it's totally acceptable to fluff the numbers a little bit.
That's every band.
Yeah.
You want to make sure if there's like 5 people there, you want to be like, thanks so much to everyone that came out last night. We had a blast.
Yeah. Thank you everybody so much for listening to our albums and coming out to our shows and just making us feel so welcome.
Yeah, those 4 people are like, we know we showed up.
They're like, yeah, there was nobody else. But you know what? Shout out to those 4 people.
Can I just say, this one time I played a show to literally 3 people. However, it was, including the sound person. One of those people is the drummer for Grammy award-winning band Black Pumas.
Oh wow,
that was one of the audience members.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The sound person, my friend Christopher Cox, very talented musician from Austin, and my girlfriend. And I played a short set, and then when I was done, I was like, all right, that should be about it. And then the drummer from Black Pumas was like, no, another one. He was really drunk.
I love that though.
And I was like,
You're
okay,
like-
sure. why the fuck not? Might as well.
I like a lot of like power violence and grindcore, so there's already, it's very normal to go to a show and it's in a well, at least in Portland, right? It's in a basement. There's 10 other people there. It's the same 10 people that show up to every power violence and or grindcore show, and it's fine. I'm also like down to be like in an empty warehouse with like a noise set with like 2 people in it. I'm like, I'll be fine. I'll figure it out, man.
I think every band needs to go through that. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
We've played early on in Capra. We did a tour, and Memphis. We something happened where we switched the venue. We played. I think it's gone, but it was the Buccaneer, and we played to literally 2 people.
Right.
It was fun. Well, turns out there was a David Bowie costume party down the road, and everybody went to that. And we should have gone.
Right.
But those 2 people bought like 4 shirts, like 2. We had like 2 designs. They bought 2 of each shirt for both of them. So we were like, okay.
I love those shows.
I love that.
I hate those shows.
It's
Yeah.
I appreciate like the support. I think that's very endearing. You know? I love DIY venues and seeing bands play, and I think that, I mean, it's that's hard, right? Like to play to an empty crowd. I've definitely been, when in my younger hard partying years, I've been that drunk person that's like, one more, you guys fucking rip, dude, I love it. But there's only a couple of people there, but it's still, the sentiment's real, the vibe is real. I still had a great, like, I'm one of those 4 people that showed up to the show that did have a really genuinely good fucking time.
Yeah, I've definitely been in the audience for those kind of shows. I think for our show that I just talked about, it was kind of like they knew they were the only 2 people there, and it was very hard for them to leave without being
right.
We'd feel so bad if we left. So they stayed out of like a pity, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit of obligation.
Hey, let's introduce our guest. This is Tyler Harper of the, can I say melodic hardcore? Is that the genre? Melodic hardcore band Capra?
Metallic, I think is what people say.
Let me ask
It was
you.
new to me. It was a new genre to me.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you, what's the difference between melodic hardcore and, I guess, unmelodic hardcore?
More floor punching.
I don't know. I think they say metallic hardcore, which is like a blend of like hardcore, but it's got these metal elements to it,
Right.
Yeah.
as well. But I think more along the lines of like a hardcore punk band.
Yeah.
With like Converge and Every Time I Die, stuff like that.
That's so
I just
funny.
like to say
When we-
rock and like that's what I like to say.
When we were listening to your record, I mentioned Every Time I Die, and then Buttons mentioned Converge.
Yeah.
Those were the first 2 bands that came to mind when we were listening to it.
Perfect.
But then I said to Buttons, I was like, yeah, Converge for sure, but, and I wanted to ask you about this. Was it like a purposeful decision for Jeremy to use single pedal as opposed to double pedal? Because I know Converge is more of a double pedal situation.
No, we tried out both.
Okay.
I think he just feels more comfortable with the single pedal, getting away with it.
Right.
Like in past bands that we've done together, he incorporated the double bass pedal.
Yeah.
And then he got away from it for so long that I think it just became more natural to use single pedal. And then it's just it makes it less metal, I think. Like,
oh, that's
really,
true too. It does make it
really
less
what
metal.
we're going for. We don't want the fast like
Right.
Gives it more of a hardcore feel for me, I think.
straight up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Jeremy playing double pedal in Wildfires and being like, this is great.
Yeah.
He's a
It
killer
works for that
drummer.
band.
I think I read this maybe I saw this on your timeline. Decibel magazine listed y'all as most anticipated albums of 2023. Did I see that right?
That's very cool.
Oh, sick.
That is like, congrats on that. That's really cool.
Thanks. I think that was the first time we got something into Decibel, which is something I've always wanted.
Yeah.
I've loved Decibel ever since I was, 14, 15 years old.
Oh, wow. That's really special.
But I wanted to be in Decibel. We got like literally you know, we've had write-ups in every other one. Metal Injection, Metal Sucks,
Right.
Revolver.
Right.
Revolver was cool, but I was like, I want to get Decibel like something.
Right.
And then they hit us up about that, which was really cool.
Very sick.
What was recording your new record like? How did that go? You just wrapped that up recently?
Yeah, last weekend we were out in Austin. We recorded with Andrew Hernandez. He's done some of like the Sword stuff and Portrayal of Guilt, Glassing, This Will Destroy You.
Didn't he used to be in This Will Destroy You? Am I?
I think he is currently.
Oh, he is now.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's like a stand-in or was in it or is in it. I could be.
There's been so many Andrews in that band. Honestly, it's hard to keep track of it. But that's really cool.
It's always been Jeremy and Chris, but then like whoever else is in it, I've never really known.
Right. So, did you track the whole record and mix it in a week?
Not yet. No, we tracked
Just
everything
tracking.
with Andrew, and it was really easy. He was great to work with. We went in, and the first 3 days we just kind of knocked out drums.
Yeah.
We did it differently than we've normally recorded. We set up like me, Trevor, and Jeremy in one room.
Uh-huh.
We were just all playing to a click through headphones. That way, like we were playing it live, but you know, getting the tempo mapped out and then knocking it out right then and there. So we did first 3 days were all drums, and then we went the remaining 4 days like kind of. I would do like 2 to 3 songs on guitar and then let bass record and then let Crow do some vocals. That way she's not doing 11 songs at one time on the last 2 days.
Of course. Right.
Really cool.
For the first record, did you record that to a click track at all, or was that just live band and then?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
We just did it differently where like we did that one in a bedroom with our good friend Jai Benoit, who's in the bands Golgothan and Father Rust. And we just kind of did it with guitar scratch tracks and Jeremy just like patting on his knee, you know, setting tempo. And then we would do the click track, record the guitars, then the drums. I'd go back and redo the guitars with the, you know, the real part of it. So that's how we're accustomed to recording. This was an interesting process and it went really smooth.
Hell yeah.
So I guess y'all have been touring a lot over the last few years. Are there any shows that come to mind as like, damn, that was like the best show we've ever played?
Or the worst.
Yeah, we can get into that too.
Yeah, I mean, this should be pretty easy. So like, there's a few that are the best.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, hit me with the best first.
It keeps changing every tour. So,
right.
Like, one of them being we snuck on to this show with High on Fire and Doom Riders.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Our booking agent was Aaron Gray at the time with Heavy Talent, and he books the Mid-East up there. I think that's what it's called, Middle East.
Oh, in Boston.
In Boston,
yeah.
But he booked that show and then was routing us a tour at the time and was like, "Hey, I think I got you guys on a show with High on Fire and Doom Riders."
Awesome.
And we were like, "Dude, like, don't even say that unless it's gonna happen."
Yeah.
And it did. It happened. It
Hell
was
yeah.
nuts. I got to hang out with Nate from Converge and Doom Riders, Old Man Gloom and Cave In. The dude's in every band.
Cave In is a classic Boston hardcore band.
Yeah.
Would you call them hardcore? Cave In?
No.
What are they? Are they like post-hardcore? What kind of genre is Cave In?
I guess it's classified as hardcore.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hardcore is kind of like a very broad genre, right? Where I feel like people are like, that's hardcore. I feel like there's also the different eras of hardcore, right?
Right, exactly.
So I think that's also a big difference, you know? I don't know. I grew up like a very solidly punk kid, right? If it's not punk, it's junk. So I was just like, oh, all your weird swinging around and the crowd killing, not my vibe. But there's definitely like some bands where I'm like, yeah, I fuck with that. But it's definitely when it leans back towards like the earlier roots, like more of like a punk vibe in it for me personally.
It's become like the term screamo, I think.
Yeah.
Where like screamo is, I mean, some people think The Used for screamo. But then, like in my definition, it's bands like Seisha and
Yeah.
Hot Cross, or all of those old Level Plane Records bands from like the late '90s, early 2000s.
Right.
Which I think they switched the term now to scrams.
Whoa, I've never heard that
What?
before.
It's weird. It's like SKRAMZ
Oh.
is now the new screamo used to be.
Right. Wow.
Scrams. It's
Scram.
scram. It's like you're screaming still, but you're scram.
Yeah.
I love the scram. Yeah.
Weird.
In general, I think that it's like really funny how genres like develop over time, and then they have subgenres within the genres where like after a certain point, I'm just like, come, it's a bit much.
You've boxed yourself into like this little
It's
corner.
It
You
just-
can't leave it.
yeah, it's just like I think also maybe growing up in Portland, I'm just like, man, that is some silly elitist bullshit, right? Or like, oh, you think that's grindcore? Actually, it's porno grind.
Yeah.
So clearly
It's like
you don't.
black metal fans with Death Heaven.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
like it's a little bit too much. It's a little, to me, that's a little bit too dorky. Like I love different genres and music, but I also am like very vague, right? Where I'm like, I'm a vibes guy. So people are like very hyper specific about a genre, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm a rocker. I'm a roller.
I remember Liturgy also got a bunch of shit for not being black metal enough 12 years ago.
Yeah, that's a weird genre to say you're black metal, and then I mean, there's a lot of like elitists
And
in
purists. Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's not real black metal.
yeah. It's very odd. It's a funny thing to cape for, like to be so serious. Maybe when you're like 16, 17 and you're just like getting into music and it's your entire life. But once you become a grown adult, 25 plus, yeah, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. It's okay. It's okay.
As I've always said party rock for our band, but then like people said metallic hardcore, and I've never heard of that before. So I just kind of ran with it. It sounds cool.
Yeah, I really like party rock because it makes me think of that song, "Party Rockers in the House Tonight."
That's exactly what we sound like. That's what we were
I feel
going
like
for.
that's the
It's a
exact
huge
vibe.
influence on us.
Okay, so what's the worst show that comes to mind?
There's been a bunch of those too.
Is there one that sticks out where I was like, wow, that was the opposite of life affirming? That makes me want to crawl into a Taco
we
Bell
go
and
on
die.
so like, I mean, I can also say like that Furnace Fest was one of our best shows, and then I can also say that like when we were on tour with Whores and Bummer last summer, Whores had some like van issues, and one of the members got sick, so they canceled a show in Arizona. And the promoter at the venue wanted to cancel the whole show because the headliner couldn't make it. So
Right.
us and Bummer
Fuck.
would have been out of show and driving from somewhere in Texas all the way to San Diego
Oh my God.
Oh, fuck off.
without getting like paid for that night.
Ooh.
So I just started like scouring social media, and I hit up everybody that I knew in Arizona and was like, hey, like, is there any way we can do like a DIY show or something?
Hell yeah.
Because I was hitting up the promoters and saying like, we'll still play. People are expecting a show. So we finally got in touch with Brandon Kellum. He plays in a band called American Standards from Phoenix. And he put us in a group of like DIY musicians in Arizona. And we got a place booked at this little like DIY dive bar.
Right.
A pool hall, and it was very cool. So we went to like the venue that we're supposed to be at, flipped the flyer over and wrote like Bummer and Capra are now moved to this location.
Hell yeah.
And we just made it like a donation based show, and it was incredible. So many people showed up.
Wow.
It was all ages. Kids were like circle pitting, which we like to say, like call it the teenage tornado.
Right.
Oh, that's
But,
really
like,
cute.
in this little spot, you know.
That's very life affirming.
Yeah.
It was a great show. And then worst, like, is it like performance wise worst, or like turnout worst, or
Just that feeling where you're like, what is my life? Why am I here doing this?
You're rethinking your whole
Yeah.
yeah,
trajectory.
okay. We played this show and Sam, you might remember this.
Okay.
It was like a local thing, but it was called the Burning Crawfish Festival
Okay.
out here. I didn't know if you had played that at one point.
I don't think
it's
so.
Like, it was actually my birthday that day that we did it,
Mm-hmm.
and we drove out there, and it was weird. We ended up like when we got there was like two, probably like 45 to 50-year-old dudes with their shirts off, rapping into the microphone on the back of a trailer that was just chilling in a backyard. And like I'm thinking like, man, this is gonna be strange, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, should we just go? Should we leave and be like, you know, let's not do this one? We did it, and people were just sitting in the yard and stuff. And we had brought a bunch of like those firework poppers that you pull a string and confetti goes.
Love
and, like,
those.
silly string. We did silly string.
Very fun.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was pretty whack. We'll never do that again.
So you said there were shirtless men rapping
Yeah,
in the back. So it's like J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys kind of a vibe, or
Exactly.
older.
exactly.
I kind of like
Like
that.
they thought they were really good too. It was very similar to what J-Rock and one of J-Rock's buddies would be doing.
Uh-huh.
Hey, let me ask you this: is there a Rage Against the Machine cover band in Lafayette?
That's an
No, I don't think so. Or if it's gone under my radar. Oh.
The reason why I ask is because, well, I guess it's 10 years ago now when Zorch were on tour with Terramelos. We played, I think it's that venue called The Station in Broussard. Is it called?
Yeah.
Is it still called The Station?
It's not a venue anymore.
Oh, okay.
The station got moved. So Judd Kennedy, who like ran the station out there,
Yeah.
he switched over to a place called the District, which was a much better spot, great sound. But then that spot got rented out by like Latin Night
Mm.
on most weekends. And the shitty part is that it's right next door to a bingo hall.
Oh, wow.
And we can't have local shows there during the week because it affects the bingo.
Oh,
So
fuck
Judd
yeah.
ended up moving to what is now like Grant Street got reopened.
Oh, okay.
And that's what Judd's doing now. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, so when we played The Station, as soon as we were done our set, I guess it was a stagehand guy came up to me and was like, hey, I book this Rage Against the Machine cover band. Y'all would be great with it. Like, y'all should play a show with them. Here's my here's my
great,
phone
dude.
number. You can call me
Personally.
personally
We could be best buds.
to confirm it. And I was like, oh, okay, sure.
No, I've never heard of
That's
that.
wild. I think if you're a cover band, you have to throw a little twist on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it can't just be a straight up cover band. Like you gotta put a little fun little twist on it.
I'm also remembering.
I'm trying to think of like what the name of that band would be. Like, what would you name?
Oh, I already know.
In cover band?
What
Oh,
is it?
I already got it. It's the Renegades of Punk. That's what I would do. But it
that'd
would
be
be like a
pretty good.
punk rock themed
Right.
Rage Against the Machine
Right.
thing where we would, maybe a little bit more blast beaty. I don't know what I would do, but that's my direction. That's where I'm taking it.
I mean, that show.
The band that sounded like Rage Against the Machine, like almost kind of like mimicked that sound. But I don't think they like actually covered Rage Against the Machine.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the lineup of that show, and it was insane. It was Zorch, Terramelos, Moonhoney,
I think I was there actually. I think I went to that show.
and
Moonhoney was awesome.
yeah, and who was the local band? They're so good. Fucking Ian Guidros.
Us Over Water.
What is it?
Us Over Water.
Oh no, Imagine I Am. That's who it was.
Imagine I Am.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then there
They
was,
were-
yeah, and then I think David Isaac booked that show. Now that I think about it, have you played any of his stuff? Any of his events?
No,
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, and then I remember also right after that show, our van broke down, and we were stuck in Orange, Texas for like 2 or 3 days in this like shithole motel. It was so depressing, and that happened to be the same time that we were supposed to have our break like a 2-day break in Austin before we hit the road again and meet up with them in Albuquerque. But so anyway, we had to get the van fixed, and then we couldn't, so we abandoned our van in Orange, Texas, and then rented another van from Hertz. Made our way back to Austin, and then we borrowed a church van from Camacho.
Nice.
Formerly from the band Glassing.
Yeah. Leche Guias.
Yeah, it was Mike Hart and Camacho's van, which also broke down on that tour. But we made our show to Albuquerque, and we were so fucking like mentally chaotic that we ended up just playing an improv set. We're just like, we don't fucking give a shit about anything. Let's just do what we want,
Just
you know.
noodle.
I mean, y'all were the ones to pull that off.
Yeah.
I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah, it's pretty wacky.
I still remember the Zorch Cattywampus Versus set.
Oh yeah, we did a few of
It was
those.
like in a backyard somewhere around here in Lafayette. It was really
Well,
cool.
that was with Wildfires. That was the the one time I ever saw. No, I saw that band once in Austin, but I guess the only time I played with that band. I think Blackie was on that lineup, and
It's like, wait, does Amps catch on fire at that show?
I don't think they played
He had
it.
like speakers just stacked up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was a wild show.
That was like,
We don't have any of those anymore. Nobody does house parties really.
Really?
Except like this one group. It's like this local hip hop group that's really awesome. They're called Porch Squad.
mhm.
They do it every now and then at like the Freetown Mansion, which we got to do, I think, sometime last year.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I
That's
love
all we've got
I
for
love house
party.
parties.
Me too.
I much prefer to go to like a house show, like house party vibe versus like a venue, just because I like. Even though I'm older now, I still appreciate an all ages show. I love it when like kids can, because they add another flavor, right? Like 15, 17, 18 they got energy. I don't want to get in the mosh pit. I want to be one of those old people standing in the back with my arms crossed like this, nodding, doing
Right.
a little toe tap. You know, I want to
it.
like sit down somewhere. Like when you go to like a house party house show, I feel like there's more options. You could usually like smoke some weed. You could sit down like somewhere. You know, it's less. I don't like bars.
And usually the kids are the ones that know all the words to the songs.
Yeah, they're hyped. I love
Right.
watching like young people get into it because like I get to vicariously live through them, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, they are so stoked to like
They go
to be
off.
here. You know, they go really hard.
We try to do as many as possible. Like we ask for that when we go on tour, and our booking agent knows like, hey, we want more
More of those type
all
of shows.
ages shows than not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this one time we played a show in Houston, and I remember a family came, including a 10-year-old, and the 10-year-old knew all the words to 2 of our songs,
That's really
which was like
precious.
insane to me.
that's so so
crazy.
cute.
Crazy.
That would be a
We
life
have,
for
we
me
have a
moment.
few of those moments as well. Like at Furnace Fest, I don't remember where this like family came and saw us at,
Yeah,
but they came to Furnace Fest specifically to see us.
that's amazing.
And then like we hooked them up with a bunch of stuff afterwards. It was cool to see them like right out front, and like they knew the words and they were jamming and everything. It was
Sick.
pretty crazy when that happens.
That's gotta be a really wild feeling in general, just like playing in a band and like seeing people sing along to like something you've created. Like
It is.
that's
It's
that's a
surreal.
that's a very wild
It is
feeling. to
very
imagine.
surreal.
Yeah.
I remember we still talk about it. Like when we look out into the crowd and see like people screaming back at us, it's just like when we get in the van that night, we're like, you see that dude singing in the crowd? Like he knew the words. It's always a good feeling.
Which is even more wild for a band like yours because your songs are not necessarily like hooky or chorusy, right? Like the fact that they took the time to like really try to track
Yeah.
what the lyrics are
Yeah.
is amazing. That's so impressive.
I think that makes
The next album
sense.
has a little bit more of that hooky
Oh, okay.
type stuff, like chants and
Right.
people
Nice.
getting in
Breakdowns and stuff.
Yeah. The first album it was no intention to have breakdown.
Right. Just riffarama.
I just wanted chaos, like
Yeah.
straight through. I wanted you to have anxiety listening to it. This one's a little bit more grounded, I would say.
Right.
That's so funny. Like Shmoo makes some like really wild like electronic stuff, and I was like, I love the last album that he put out, but I was like, when I listened to it, I said I was like, it's not like I'm like really like listening to the album. It's like the album is happening to me, because there's just like so much going on. Like it's like really chaotic, and there's all these different like textures, and it's like crunchy, and then it's like before you could taste the one, you discern one flavor or like texture, it's onto another one, and like I kind of like that though. Like it's to me that like that's art.
My next record has more hooks.
Yeah.
I've tried to figure out a balance between being weird and experimental and still having something that someone can remember when they're finished listening to the album.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think there's
That's kind of
a
where
good
I
mix.
was at with this next one. Was
Right.
The last one was just supposed to be like, chaotic all the way through. Just this roller coaster of like, hey, like this is how we feel as musicians. But
Right.
also the lyrics tell a different story and people can relate to both on that ride.
Right.
But then with this one, it was like, I want to appeal to more than just people that like chaotic metal,
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all
Or-
played with Pleasure Venom yet? I feel like that's
No. That's a cool name though.
Oh, I
I agree.
I should hook y'all up with them. They're like really popping right now in Austin. I think they actually made the front cover of Austin Chronicle.
Oh, nice.
They're kind of like White Lung. Is that the name of it? White Lung?
Wet lungs?
Wet Lung? White Lung? Somebody
Wet lungs.
Is it Wet Lung?
Wet lung.
I don't know.
Wet lungs was the I think it was see, I could be wrong about this one too, but I think Ryan Pankratz was in that band, and then the guy that Daughters wrote a song about, Mike Morowitz.
Love that name, Morowitz.
Yeah,
Moro Schwitz.
I think the Daughters song was what is it called? Mike Morowitz the something.
Did y'all play? Did y'all
I think
play
it's-
a maggot fest of some sort? A Slipknot fest? A knot fest, if you will?
Yeah, we did. It was a live stream. We did the Knot Fest live stream. It was like a fest where it was grouped with a bunch of other bands. That were really Pupil Slicer, band Gayera.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what they're from, but they're like awesome.
Okay.
Wild to watch them do their thing.
Did you meet any of the members of Slipknot at this not adjacent fest?
No, it was like a pre-filmed thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What was cool though was that like after we did it, so it was aired and it was just live streamed to a bunch of people, and a lot of people saw it. But then after, when they would do like the actual Knot Fest, there's like 2 screens on the side of the stages,
Mm-hmm.
and they would play our performance to people in the crowd and everything that were there waiting for the next band to start.
That's sick. That's cool. So you're
That's
still
cool. Getting exposure.
Yeah, a lot of people said that they found out about us that way. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks like your live shows are pretty. I imagine they're pretty lit.
Energetic, yeah.
Very energetic. Your lead singer looks like a badass.
He is
Definitely,
a
Pro Lotus.
definitely
Yeah.
looks like they're delivering the goods as a front
She
person.
delivered the good for sure. They're fun. I mean, we have some shows where like I always tell people, it's not always insane. Lately, most of them have been pretty insane, just in the crowd. Like the other night, we played in Baton Rouge, and right off the first note, people were moshing and everything.
That's
It was
amazing.
really
Yeah.
cool to see. But there's other shows where people just want to take in what we're doing and watch. And at first, I was like, oh, why is nobody moving? That's pretty crazy. But then I think about it, I'm like, oh, if I was in the audience, I would just not be moving either. I'd be watching
Right.
the guitar player or whatever instrument I'm doing.
Any good crowd surfs?
Longer, I'd be
Yeah.
in the mosh pit, but now nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I would say when did you age out of the mosh pit, right? Because obviously you've been into music for a long time. At what point were you like, fuck the mosh pit, man? I just want to stand in the back with all the other like old guys, like.
Probably like 25. I think 25 I gave up on moshing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
me too.
I've been in it
about
for
right.
so long.
I don't like getting my little toesies stepped on. I don't like getting elbowed in the face anymore. Every once in a while, if it's like a really like nostalgic band, and also just because I'm like the old haggard woman in the pit. I think that's just a vibe because you just don't see it very often. And I'm just like, I kind of like being like people. I like, you know, like in every mosh pit, there's like the one heavy set guy that's like super fucking sweaty for no reason, and he's got his shirt off and he's just like chugging around. And I want to be the female equivalent, where they're just, people are just like, what the fuck is going? You are on one.
Don't come at me.
Yeah, and I just like, you know.
I think the last like mosh pit I did was the first Furnace Fest I went to in 2021, and Every Time I Die was playing, and I was just like, I got close because I love that band, and it right off the bat just got really insane. It sucked because one, I was wearing these new shoes that I got that were really cool. They were like a limited edition Vans. I don't really collect shoes, but I had bought these because I saw them and I was like, I gotta have them.
Right, those are sick.
They were yellow and suede. And I got caught in the pit, and people were stepping all over them. And I got really and I can't clean them.
Not the kicks. Not the kicks.
I don't really care about shoes too much, but I miss those.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any good crowd surfs happen at your shows?
Yeah, we've had a few. I think the craziest story is, well, the first time there's been 2 incidents of ambulances.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Crowd surfing is really fucking dangerous.
Wow.
I've seen a lot of cracked skulls.
Like
Damn.
The first time it happened, it was at the Freetown Boom Boom Room in Lafayette, and this crazy pit broke out, and I guess somebody went down and they landed and they broke their wrist. And in the process, like split their forehead or their nose or something. He had to be carried out and put in an ambulance. And I caught it in time, which was cool because it was right after we played. It was like the last song. So I brought him a shirt. I was like, hey, dude, you know, thanks for breaking your wrist for us.
Oh,
That's
my
cool.
God.
That's really
I gave him
intense.
a t-shirt. And the next time was, I think last year we played in Houston at White Oak with I Hate God.
Mm-hmm.
And another pit broke out, and this was worse. This guy like snapped his leg in half, like broke it to where it was like 90-degree angle.
Oh,
broke.
fuck that.
And like I didn't know till after, but we saw him getting carried out.
Damn.
And he had to go to the hospital. I wonder if he's okay.
Yeah. That's rough. Have you sustained any mosh pit injuries, either of you?
Not injuries, but I have performed while being crowd surfed before, which that's a fun experience.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, I've done that twice, where it just happened.
That's
like,
pretty wild.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I've definitely shed some blood for rock and roll. Because like I said when I was younger, I like to be that weirdo in the pit. So like I've busted my front tooth. I've gotten multiple bloody noses and black eyes because I just really I am a rough and tumble little boy, and I just really I go too hard. I go hard in the paint, in the pit.
I used to. I don't anymore.
Yeah, I don't do it anymore. I don't do it anymore. Like I said, now I like to stand in the back with my arms crossed, and I just do the little tap, tap, tap. But yeah, I'm have.
Definitely an arms crossed.
Yeah, right.
You'll see me like either smile or like do the sick riff.
Yeah, I'm always sick riff, bro. It's so funny because as a kid, I used to be like, I love the Murder City Devils, right? And I love that like one lyric, like if you're not here to dance, what the fuck did you come for? Kind of a vibe. And I used to be like, as the young person at the show, I'd be like, look at these fucking old guys just sitting in the back, just arms folded, just tapping their foot. They're not living. They're not rocking. They're not rolling. And now I'm like, bro, I got a bad back. I'm not trying to fucking throw some shit out. They're actually living. They're living to see another day. And that's what's important to me.
That stank face for a riff is the greatest compliment you can give.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the I call them the metal twinkle fingers, right? Where people like you're doing like a sick riff and people are like, give me more, give me more.
I'm into it.
I like it too.
I don't think I would ever hate on something. You know, if people are enjoying it, I would never be like, it's weird. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
that.
cool move, man. You brought the fingers out. That's awesome.
That's sick. Obviously, you didn't grow up in Portland. Portland is very, it's like a bunch of it's a small town, right? But people are very elitist in particular about the goofiest shit. Portland's a city where if you were doing that and that wasn't the vibe in the rest of the room, people would be like, what are they doing? It's they're really you're over enjoying the show. You gotta everything about Portland is everybody's trying to be casually cool. Nobody's trying to be excited about anything. Everybody's very aloof. And I'm just bro, if you're bringing out the metal fingers, the metal twinkle fingers, people are having a good time.
You'll never
showing joy is a weakness.
Yeah.
You'll never pass up an opportunity to shit on Portland, eh?
I will not. I absolutely cannot. I'm hey, it's like Portland's a bad ex, right? Where I'm just oh, anytime anybody tells a story, I'm that reminds me of my ex. Guess what they did?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to let it go.
I went to Portland once, and it was on our last tour, and so many things happened at one time when we got there. I forget the name of the venue we played, but we had to park in this parking lot, across the block, diagonal from the venue.
Mm-hmm.
And when we just parked, and we were just sitting there because we had got there early. And out of the side, there's so many things that I'm gonna tell you at least 6.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So I'm looking out of the side of the window, and there's this guy with a pipe, and he's just poking into a crevice of a wall over and over and over again. I was like, what is he doing? What is he trying to get? I didn't know what this happened for probably 2 hours straight.
Damn, fuck.
And then across the street, across the parking lot, there's a gate, but there was another guy that was out walking around, and he was bleeding so bad from his neck. He had a boil in his neck, and there was blood everywhere.
Wow.
And I was just this guy's just walking around, talking to people. And I tried to keep an eye on him. There was a guy in a wheelchair rolling around the parking lot backwards. And even at one point, rolled backwards into our van while we're sitting in it.
Wow.
Then this car pulled up. They were driving right in front of us, and it was 2 dudes, and they looked over, and you could just tell that they were shocked to see people sitting in the van. They were like, what the fuck is going on in there?
Right.
And then this girl pulled in with her giant U-Haul truck. And this was later, so there was less people out. Guy's still chopping away at the wall, though. But, she pulled up, and I guess in a moment you could tell she was she was excited to be moving to Portland, but she kind of fumbled around the U-Haul, and then at one point she farted louder than anybody I've ever heard. It ricocheted off the walls, and we were just damn, she did that,
Damn, you be shitting with all that ass, mama?
This was 3 hours of just sitting in the van watching things happen in Portland.
Wow.
I wanted to pull up some recent tweets from Steve Albini to get your reaction.
Okay.
Do you have any, before we get into that, do you have any feelings about Steve Albini? One way or another? No? Okay. So I was talking about Steve Albini with Buttons before we got on air. For those in the audience that don't know Steve Albini, he produced and engineered In Utero by Nirvana. What else did he do? Bush Razorblade Suitcase. I know he did that record. Anyways, on Twitter,
I don't know what other albums he's done. Nirvana's the only one I think I can think of.
Here, let me just look it up just for my own.
Yeah, I mean, he has a list that's insanely long. I should know more, but I don't.
I'll just
yeah, I had no idea.
I'll just point out. Oh wait, he did the first Slint album.
Okay, that's pretty tight.
Did the first Slint album. Shellac. He's in that band.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Urge Overkill. Okay. We got
Long Story
Pussy
Past.
Galore. We got how about some Pigface? Don't know.
I don't need to know who that is.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
The Breeders.
Okay, yeah, know that one.
Jesus Lizard.
Love Kim Deal.
Perfect.
Failure.
Did he do multiple Jesus Lizard albums?
I'm just naming it off as I see it. From they're listing it from year to year on Wikipedia. Let's see if there's anything else that sticks out.
I always try to incorporate Twitter more into my band social media thing, but
I've never
I
on
only
Twitter.
really use it when I'm on tour, and like
Yeah.
I'm in the band. And then
You're
I'm-
good at Twitter, by the way.
Well, sometimes
You're pretty good
When
at
I
it.
do it.
You have good one-liners.
Oh,
Like snarky one-liners, you're good at that.
That's what Twitter's for, right?
Yeah.
I don't use Twitter. I don't really go on Twitter. It takes me a really long time to like. I'm like an old person. It took me a really long time to move from Facebook onto like Instagram, and now I'm just like an old person where I'm just like, I did it. I got an Instagram, buddy. That's where you can find me. That's where I will post all of my shit. People are like, bro, you got to use Twitter, and I'm like,
my favorite one is Instagram.
I don't know.
We got
No.
we got Ohm, we got Neurosis.
Sick.
Okay.
Those are big deals.
Yeah,
All right.
I like
I'd be
Neurosis.
That's enough, right? Did I list enough?
I think we got a vibe.
We got a vibe. So
Got a
anyway, Steve
He's
Albini,
doing well, Steve. He's doing great.
he I've heard him consider himself kind of like he sees his role as an engineer as utilitarian in the sense that he's like a tradesperson, like a plumber. He doesn't believe philosophically in earning any royalties off bands' recordings. He just wants to be paid his rate, and that's it.
That's awesome.
I think that's pretty cool.
And he said to a friend of mine he was in a band called Plutonium Farmers who recorded with Steve. Apparently Steve said, that's why I make the medium bucks. Straight from the horse's mouth. Anyway, so on Twitter he said, I will always be the kind of punk that shits on Steely Dan. Ooh.
That's a bold statement.
Bold.
It's a really I'm a punk, but I'm also a Steely Dan man.
You're
so
a Dan man.
I'm a Dan man. That's
I love Dan.
yeah.
I don't understand why you would hate on Steely Dan.
I think he hates on Steely Dan because it's overly produced. Every overdub is like meticulous, whereas Steve Albini's approach is like one take, one room. That's the whole recording. That's it. We're
I get
done.
it.
You know,
What a fool
he's
believes.
like, he's
I have my ways of recording as well. Like I'm not one take,
Right.
but I like for things to, if I can't play it live, I'm not putting it on the album.
right.
Like I'm one guitarist now, and we have a bass player, so I'm not going to put a bunch of layers or different
Right.
overdubs on it, because then what if people are expecting that part, and I'll never have a computer on stage with me playing the part.
That's interesting.
I didn't think about that part, but that makes sense though.
Y'all had two guitars for a little bit?
No.
Never-
Well, yeah, a little bit, but never on the album.
Right. Okay. When
We
you
only got and Trevor, who's our bass player now, was the second.
was
guitar
the
player.
second guitar, right? So when
We
you,
just added him to. We were gonna start writing in ways that we could incorporate both guitars.
right.
But for the first album, he really just played what I played, because I always double up the guitars anyway on recording.
I see.
They
Okay.
just fatten up
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Beefy boys.
like the beef.
So I'm just gonna read off some more Steve Albini quotes, and this is all from today, by the way. This is all
nice.
today. Christ, the human amount of human effort. Sorry, Christ, the amount of human effort wasted to sound like an SNL band warm up. Okay.
All right.
They spent 3 weeks on the guitar solo. 3 weeks of watching guitar players give it their all while doing bumps and hitting the talk back. Quote, more Egyptian, but keep it in the pocket. Close quote.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I wish I knew what he was talking. Like I wish I knew what was happening in front of him the moment he thought of that.
I know.
Tweet it.
He's a spicy boy on Twitter.
It's pretty good.
Look at yourselves, calling them the Dan. Go trim your beard.
Is he talking about Steely Dan?
Are you still
again?
talking about the Steely Dan?
Yeah, this is all on the Dan thread.
Yeah, he's hating on Steely Dan right now.
I know. Yeah, these are all about his feelings on the Dan.
Wow.
Two types of perfectionist. One will prepare, revise, and rehearse carefully with intent, honing an idea to a keen edge, ready to cut the cloth of execution. The other makes other people responsible by saying, do it again, until by chance they are satisfied, then take credit. Okay.
Okay.
I'm definitely not the second one.
Yeah.
I,
He says, I kind of like Boz Scaggs though. All right.
Boz Scaggs?
He's just
yeah,
out
Bob
here
Scaggs,
tweeting all
yeah.
this in one day.
Yeah, this is all just from today.
Damn. He's had a productive day on Twitter.
I'm like, I don't honestly. I'm just like, it's a bit much. That's a lot of tweeting.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a lot of tweeting. I'm like, are you all right? You hitting the pookie? What's going on, bud?
No, he's just spicy.
Yeah.
He's
But
he's
he
like
has to think of that every single time of like, oh, let me open Twitter so I can put my thoughts.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's maybe also like a draw for certain people. Like people just love to just like word vomit onto Twitter.
Yeah.
And I like to treat social media like performance art. I like to curate my memes, my thirst traps, my rants. It's art.
I mean, twice a day max for me on posting.
Tyler, do you ever do thirst trap posts?
No. No. Or at least I don't think so. I hope not.
Yeah, well,
Like-
dude thirst trap. Well, see, the thing is, dudes can post thirst traps kind of like unknowingly, right? Like you can just be like a hot guy and you're posting. You're not necessarily, unless you're like at the gym posting your abs. You know what I mean?
Right. That would be yeah.
Yeah, I don't have those, so I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I'll put like pictures that we get from shows and stuff that look really cool.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, really, it's more of like, hey, this is a cool photo.
Uh-huh.
Like
You're not trying
no.
to be like, look, I'm hot.
Right.
Shmoo, do you ever post thirst traps?
Not really.
No, I've never seen you post a
No.
thirst trap in my entire life.
I don't think I do that.
No.
I would never want the attention from a thirst trap anyway. That sounds horrible.
We all like different things here. I'm like, I love a good thirst trap. I love the idea of posting the thirst trap and then like ignoring the response that comes from it. That's how I get my kicks. I'm like, here's my ass, boom, and then I just let everybody go, oh my goodness, an ass, and then I just I just let it wash over me like a wave. I don't really need to be there to collect the likes.
Right.
I don't need that in life. It's more or less for me. I'm just like, yeah, that looks great.
Feeling good.
Yeah, but that's just because I have narcissistic tendencies, and I'm just like, damn. It's like what is it? American Psycho, where he's like fucking and like looking at himself in the mirror, and he's just like, yeah, like
that. Yeah, I like that.
Like that's my vibe, where I'm just like, yeah. Look at you fucking go, you dirty little slut.
I don't
Good
like
job.
looking in the mirror while I'm fucking someone.
Oh well.
I can't.
I do.
You do that?
I think that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you think
I
it's
like
cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have.
You see what's going on. It's like you're watching porn, but you're actually participating.
Yeah, you're in the porn that you're in. I have lots of mirrors in my room. And lots of mirrors in my room. And so here's the thing, though, is I've been caught looking at myself in the mirror, and the other person was not down with that. They're
Ooh.
like, they were like, "What are you doing? Like, I want you to be present and here." And I'm like, "Bro, do you not see how fucking hot we look fucking right now? You don't want to look in the mirror?"
I'm doing real good. I wanted to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm putting on a fucking performance, and I would like to enjoy my own performance. My God. But, different people. Other people are like, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. And I'm like, ooh, that's spicy. But you never know. Different people, different strokes for different folks. Needless to say, the person who told me not to look in the mirror, me and her aren't a thing. I was like,
Fair enough.
yeah, I was like, this is like a little bit too much like intense, like lesbian eye contact during sex for me. And I was like, I just like pretending that I was the porn star beforehand. And now we have to do like a very intense eye stare
Is there a
thing.
Is there a difference between lesbian eye contact and?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes,
Yeah, I'm like curious about that.
well, because sometimes men, when they make eye contact while you're having sex, they're like, I like to refer to it as like man's like horny demons, right? Like they like kind of switch into another persona, and sometimes men get this like dead fish eye where they're kind of just glazed over and they're just in Hornville, right? They're just like their brain is completely shut off. They're just in Bonerville. They're just like, oh
Next time I
my.
make eye contact, I'm just gonna be worrying that I'm doing dead fish eye. Hey, was that okay? Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, do I look present while I'm looking into your eyes? See, but the thing with
Back to the mirror.
yeah, exactly. Let's go back to the mirror. Just go back to the mirror. Lesbian eye contact is like very intense. It makes me almost uncomfortable because it's like, she's not just looking into my eyes. She's looking into my soul, and she's picturing us in our tiny cottage home in the woods. I've just baked a fresh loaf of bread, even though I don't know how to fucking bake. She's picked some flowers. She's put them in the vase. We're gonna like have a picnic with the loaf of bread. It's a lot. It's a lot, and I could see that happening in the eye contact, and I'm getting nervous, and I'm trying to say back through my eyeballs, I don't know how to bake bread. I don't know how to bake bread.
It's either like brainless caveman nothingness or a future of commitment.
Yeah, and both are a little bit frightening to me. The future commitment is scary, but also I'm just like the dead fish eye. I'm just like, are you here? Is this?
Are you present?
Like, are you present? Do you like this, or are you just plugging into a hole right now?
In my head, it's so much worse than it seems. I think the way I'm imagining it.
Yeah. But I mean, everybody's got different flavors.
I don't know why the face that I have for it is that bigger kid from Hey Arnold.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
That's the face I'm imagining.
I like funny faces and I like loud noises. Some people like, I love those memes where like, you afraid to moan in front of your girl, and I just be screaming in her ear like, and I'm like, wow, that is intense. That is intense. I like that. That's interesting to me.
Tyler, I wanted to ask you about fans that like Capra who also like on Spotify. Have you ever looked that up?
Oh, like what ours is?
Yeah.
No, but I can pull it up right now, actually.
So I wanted to go through it with you and see if you knew any of these bands or if you liked any of them.
Sure. Oh, you have it pulled up?
I have it pulled up, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I like the names of these bands.
So Escuela Grind?
No, Escuela.
Oh, Escuela, sorry.
Escuela Grind. Love them. Yeah.
Okay.
That was so cute. That was very Peggy Hill of you.
The same manager as them. So we met them at that High on Fire Doom Rider show in Boston.
Oh, cool.
So we're trying to line up some shows with them, which we will in the future. They're actually leaving today to go on a European tour, which is going to be great for them.
Fuck yeah.
Pupil Slicer.
Sick name.
Incredible.
Mortality rate?
They're from the UK, and they were on that Knotfest thing with us.
Oh, sick.
Who's the next one?
Bummer?
Yeah, we toured with them.
Wow. Harriet.
I don't know.
Dying Wish.
Dying Wish is cool.
Thought Crimes?
Thought Crimes is awesome. It's one of the guys from Dillinger Escape Plan.
Oh, sick.
Very
okay.
cool. Is that sorry?
Go ahead.
Is Thought Crimes like a Crime Think reference, or is that just?
I have no idea.
Do you all remember Crime Think?
The drummer. So it's the drummer, I believe, from Dillinger Escape Plan's new band, and then his brother is in another band called God's Eyes, which is a very cool hardcore band that's similar to us. It has that Converge Every Time I Die sound to it.
Very sick.
Godmother?
Godmother's cool.
Sharptooth.
I've heard of Sharptooth. I can't describe their sound. I don't know if I've ever actually listened to it.
Here's a band that I like and have known about for a long time, and I think y'all have played with them, Ken Mode.
Yeah, we just played with them last Halloween.
Sick. I'm sure it was great.
They're fucking awesome.
Sharptooth is a really cute name, but it reminds me of the children's song. The baby shark toot 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 toot. But now I'm doing the sharp tooth in my head.
Wasn't that the T-Rex in Land Before Time? Sharptooth, I think. Was his name.
I think so. Yeah, Sharptooth. Yeah, that's the T-Rex. Great movie, by the way. Great film, Land Before Time. Fantastic dinosaur film.
I never really watched the 37 others that they made.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Do you know the band Ithaca? That's listed here.
Yeah, Ithaca's cool. They're I know I listened to them recently, actually.
Would that be considered screamo?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, closer, right?
It's not funny. I can't remember, I recently found them and put them on like some of my playlists that I make, and yeah, my brain is saying that it's screamo. I can't remember right now. I'd have to listen to it. But
who is that? Do you remember? Okay, what was that band you were in a bunch of years ago? Like Midnight Blues Train had a name like that.
Oh, the Midnight Ghost Train.
Hey, I was pretty close. Midnight Ghost Train.
It took over for Mike Boyne. Mike Boyne played bass for that band, and then he couldn't. He was having a kid, so he asked me one day if I had my passport. I was like, yeah. So they asked me to go, and I would fly up to Kansas, and I did a European tour with them. It was it was long. It was like 2 months. I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Woo!
pretty rough tour. It was fun though. It was cool seeing Europe and getting to travel and
Yeah.
see a bunch of cool stuff. And then we did like 3 final shows. Steve, the guitar player, had become a firefighter.
Wow.
I don't think he is anymore. They just actually did another tour with Mike Boyne over in Europe.
How do you become a firefighter when you're on the road all the time? Because I remember that band was full time on the road.
Yeah, he stopped playing music.
I see.
For years. I think he had like become a volunteer for a minute and was still doing shows during that. But then he was like, he had like a calling or something where he's like, this is what I want to do.
Right.
So he did it for a while. And I think now he lives back in Buffalo. And I have no idea what he's doing.
So I don't know if I ever told you this, but I played a show with Midnight Ghost Train. Well, actually, technically, I didn't even play it. Let me start from the beginning. We were booked to play an after-hour show in Houston. So the show started at 2:00. We show up to the venue. They don't even have a PA there yet. The guy that booked the show was like
2 a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm out.
I know. Oh, do you know what? This show was the
Too late.
show the day before the Lafayette show we were just talking about with wildfires. This was the day before that one.
Okay.
Because I remember us getting no sleep, and I remember showing up. Whose ever house that was that we played, we slept on their couch for like 2 hours, and then played like.
I have no idea who lived there. It was just the General Mouton house.
Yeah. But anyway, so we show up, no PA. We wait for about an hour. The guy that booked the show was like a well-known cocaine dealer in Houston who did prison time for
cocaine
for
dealing.
cocaine dealing.
Trapper's got a trap. Got
Did he
mouths to feed.
Did he continue after prison?
I don't know. I don't know what happened to him, but I will say that the vibe there was very cocaine-y because Midnight Ghost Train played first, which was kind of the best slot in this situation. They played. Then we were supposed to play next, but this band, who I assume was local, were very coked out and very aggressive. And they did that thing where they're like, we're playing next. And they like start.
I'm wondering if it's the band I'm thinking.
And they started setting up, and we went, and then Zach and I walked up to the promoter, and we're like, "You told us we were playing next," and they're like willing to fight us for this slot. It was crazy,
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You know what? I'll just pay you to not play. So here's whatever, $75." And
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Wow, just go home. We don't even want it.
So we had to load out, and then we were driving through the night, and then we ended up in Lafayette at like 6 a.m. and then we slept for 2 hours, and then the house party started at like noon or something. Oof. It was brutal.
That's very rough. I feel like cocaine crowds, cocaine in general is like, I mean, it's LA, so like coke is very prevalent in any show, scene, bar, whatever you go to here, but it's so not the vibe. Like trying to like talk to somebody that's like fucking high on cocaine, and you're just like trying to tell a story, and you could just they're just like chomping at the bit, and they're like, oh, I want to trauma dump on you. Oh, I want to tell you about this weird thing that happened to me when I was a kid. And I'm like, bro, like this is what you're doing with drugs? Like you're not you're not doing it. Like I don't think that, like, I've very rarely seen anybody do anything like cool like while on coke, right? People are just like, oh, I just want to talk and be fucking annoying. Like people that smoke weed, they're funny, they're creative. You can like have a like conversation with them. Like when people are coked out, man, like I start getting anxious because I'm like, damn, y'all's energy is just like so hyped up. I can't get in a word edgewise, and Lord knows I love the sound of my own voice, and that's really frustrating for me. I'm not on cocaine, and I still want to get into the conversation and just,
I just get out of it.
Yeah.
I gotta go do something.
Yeah, it's not the vibe. I don't like it. I'm always like worried too. I'm just like, man, you're the type of motherfuckers to steal my wallet and then help me look for it. I don't like this at all.
Oh my God. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Cokeheads will rip you off and then be like, oh damn, somebody ripped you off. That's fucked up. Well, I can help you look. I'll text my buddy. Maybe it was my buddy who did this. And I'm like, so your buddy's a thief? Well, it's just this and I'm like, man, I don't know.
We had something like that happen while we were on tour. We were actually in Austin hanging out with some people, And this is back when I did cocaine,
Mm.
but we had some show up. This guy had got it for us. I don't want to mention his name.
Yeah, of course.
We're
And
not
then
narcs.
no, I know, but it's just
Yeah. We don't want to say names.
right.
Mhm.
He accused us later of stealing the cocaine.
Oh wow.
He was, oh, you guys, like he got so mad at us, and he was like, "You stole it, like into your pockets." And like, we were at like a good friend of mine's house, and this was his roommate at the time, and so we like emptied our pockets. Like, dude, we didn't steal your cocaine. So,
Oh, we just dumped it. I would love it if you guys had just like dumped it, like not in a baggie. You just like everybody took a little bit and just popped it in there, just a little pocket cocaine, you know.
like an hour later, he like came downstairs and was like, "Hey, I found it," and we were like, "Okay, good. You know, that's cool. Like, can we do it?" But like, he was crying. He was like literally crying because he accused him of this.
Yeah, 'cause that's
I think he had already
embarrassing.
done a little bit of it, but
Yeah, that's clearly. I'm like, that's embarrassing though. Like you're accusing somebody of like stealing some shit, but you're just like coked out and you like misplaced it.
yeah,
That's why I never sell drugs.
We're high right now.
Yeah. I could never be like a drug dealer just because I would be in my own supply. I'd be very emotional. I already talk too much. I already need too much attention. Like, then I'm the coke dealer, so I'm on coke all the time. And then I'm like, I'm the coke dealer. I would have a captive audience because people would want to buy drugs from me. It would just be a very slippery slope for me. And I'm really glad that that's not the vibe for me in life. It would not work out.
Yeah,
No, not for me either.
No.
I'd be dead.
Yeah, I'd be dead.
yeah, that drug is not necessarily. It doesn't give you any longevity, right? It's
It's a disco drug.
it's a short term
It's a short-term thing.
dopamine rush.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorite drugs. I loved cocaine. I don't do it anymore. So
Yeah, you've been clean and sober for a while now, right?
yeah, pretty good while. I think like almost 8 years.
8 years.
Hell yeah. That's
Holy shit.
I think
congratulations.
you've seen me in some of my worst moments, for sure.
I mean, I'm sure maybe.
Oh, well, look, I love that. I love that. You know, most people are like, "Yeah, dude, here's a story."
You're like, thanks, I've been sober. I don't need to relive those
Right.
memories.
Do you remember when we saw Rush?
Of course.
Yeah, how can you forget? How can anyone forget that?
No, I've seen them 3 times, and that, yeah, of course I remember that.
That one was really good.
They
Does
opened that
Tyler,
show
like-
with Subdivisions, which blew my mind.
Oh yeah, they did open with Subdivisions.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. They normally open up with Limelight,
Oh
which is
yeah.
another great thing. Oh, their songs are incredible. But they played Subdivision. That was the only time they've ever played that song when I've seen them.
Ah.
How do you feel about Slush?
I don't think Tyler knows about Slush.
He doesn't know about Slush?
No,
You got to
this-
plug him in with Slush, right?
Okay, so Slush. Okay, so Brian from The Sword, he did this thing where he took a few Rush songs and slowed them down
Awesome.
and called it Slush. So it's just slow Rush.
I used to do a podcast with some of my roommates a few years ago, and our outro for the podcast was slowing songs down. And at one point we did Working Man, and it was so good.
That's what Brian said.
It was so good. It was so doomy and heavy.
Yeah.
And Neil Peart has perfect timing, right?
Yeah.
Slow
was
down, yeah.
That was that you were like, wow, there's no, it's just
No
fucking-
error.
no error.
It
It's
didn't
locked
sound
in.
like it was slowed down either. It was like Getty's voice was just deep, and it sounded like you'd hear on a Doom album.
Was Getty's voice
sick.
normal pitch, like slow down?
No.
It was
low. It was a lot lower.
Oh, okay.
But like the mute, like it didn't sound like. Sometimes you can slow a song down and you can tell it's slowed down. This just sounded like a new version of Working Man.
Right.
Wow.
So Jesse and I saw Genesis in Pittsburgh. We saw them
That's
on their
Very
final
tight.
tour.
It was
And
emotional.
it was the same kind of deal where like the first 3 songs were like, okay, expectations already exceeded. If the
Yeah.
rest of the show sucks, I already like got what I needed. You know?
Right.
They open with Turn It On Again, whatever.
Came out bangers. I think that's just the way to do it.
Yeah, just bangers.
You know what the people are there for.
Yeah.
It was also really sweet though because
gonna go pee.
Phil's son was playing drums.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's like, Phil, he's getting up in years, and like there were some backup singers because he can't necessarily hit all the notes anymore. And he kind of had to like sit down, take some breaks, but I just thought it was very emotional because like he got to introduce his son. His son's a fucking like excellent drummer, and
Yeah.
like I just was I'm in a sensitive little emotional baby, but I was just like, that just got to be like such a like imagine like being on stage and like playing a show with your dad, and that's pretty much the final tour, like that's like that's
a huge
legendary.
Yeah.
That's like
You take that for the rest. You'll remember that for the rest of your life.
yeah, me as a person in the audience, I was like, wow, that's super powerful, and it was just a great show. And I'd never been to Pittsburgh before, and I think Pittsburgh's a great city. It's like a bigger Portland, but like instead of like how everybody's gentrified Portland and it has like moved there, like everybody has left Pittsburgh, so it's just like half of it's kind of Detroit vibes where it's like there's nobody living in any of these buildings on this block, but it's still got like that brick city feel, and the Pittsburgh crowd loved Genesis, and they were hot and heavy and wild for them. I remember the ladies in front of us with like they were when the I can't dance, they went so fucking hard. Like you knew that was their shit when they were like back in high school, and they were just like they were fucking living their best lives.
That's my least favorite Genesis
Of course,
single.
it's my least favorite as well. But you could tell
It was
that
a moment.
they were like,
All the moms were like,
yeah, all the moms were like, yeah, like it was. I don't like nobody obviously took their top off and like threw their bra on stage, but that was the vibe that they were giving. They're they're like, we're grown up now and we're in our 40s. We're not going to take our titties out, but this song makes me feel like I want to take my titties out.
Right.
And once again, it's like when there's young kids in the mosh pit, I just love seeing I love seeing other people have like a good time and be excited to like watch music.
Tyler, don't you know a famous chef in LA? Didn't you stay with a famous chef?
Yeah, it's Chris Santos.
Oh, okay.
He's the judge on Chopped.
Right.
He actually owns. So we're on like 2 record labels, with one being Metal Blade and the other being Blacklight Media. And he owns Blacklight Media.
Oh.
So we've hung out with Chris multiple times. The first time was at St. Vitus in New York. And the second time he came to our show in LA, which he lives out there now, and we stayed with him. And
Hell yeah.
it was cool. Like we played pool, and I beat him on his own table.
Whoa.
And then showed him like this really cool trick shot. It was like I felt really cool when I did it.
So how does it work being on 2 labels? What like how did that come about?
It's like a subsidiary of Metal Blade. So like they
Oh,
have
I
like
see.
their roster, and then like we're also signed to Metal Blade, which is a part of that roster. And honestly, I'm not too sure how it works. I have no idea.
Okay. Are there any bands on Metal Blade where you're like, wow, it's so cool that we are doing our thing like during the same era as this band? Like, wow.
Yeah. Harm's Way is one of them for
Okay.
sure. Cult of Luna,
Uh-huh.
another band. It's really good. It's just cool that like Slayer's been on that label forever, and I mean not anymore. But
Yeah, but at a certain point.
that was cool. And Dragon Force. I'm not really a big fan.
wow.
Oh,
I'm not really a big fan of Dragon Force.
Very cool.
Well,
though.
that dude shred. Like that's one of the first things I said when I got signed to Metal Blade was like, I'm on the same label as that dude from Dragon Force. Like he shreds,
Right.
you know, like for breakfast, just super fast.
Yeah.
And I don't like. I'm pretty cool, but I'm not that good. And like here we are on like, I don't know, equal. We're in the same boat.
yeah. You're on the same ship.
I
We're on
remember.
the same shit.
I remember when Zorch signed to Sargent House, we would frequently joke about how we were like just bottom of the barrel of like the hierarchy, you know. And at one point we played this game where we like listed all the bands, and it's like, hey, how low on the totem pole are we? You know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, well, we're within Metal Blade, we're pretty low.
but it's still cool. I
But
mean, it's
like,
still Metal
funny
Blade,
'cause,
right?
like, you do all of this work, you know, for years and years and years of your life, and you become like top of your local music scene and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, and you're getting somewhere. You're like now you're starting to see the success in it, and then you get to the point where you get signed, and you're like, dude, we did it. But then you realize once you get signed, you start over.
Yeah, you
That's
start exactly.
And you're like, this is where the work really begins. You know, I got to climb above these bands that are just influences of ours. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and to that point, you know, when we were on Sargent House, Chelsea Wolfe being at the top of the pile. You know, I remember she was getting like $20,000 budgets for music videos, and like we're not.
No.
And it's like if we did, that could do a lot for us.
It's kind of like moving to LA. Getting on a label is like moving to LA.
It is like moving to LA. That's a good,
everybody's
good
like
point.
a big shot, a big fish in whatever place they go to.
Small pond, yeah.
And then you come to LA, and LA is
you're
it's
a nobody
humbling.
again.
Yeah, you could be hot shit wherever place you're at. You come to LA, and everybody's like, "Who? What's that? I've never heard of that. That's so wild." And you're like, "Damn, fuck off, man!" Like, the shit I do is pretty cool, and everybody's like, "Never heard of it. That's so cute, though. Love that for you."
LA was definitely weird when we went. Like, it was just, it was crazy that we played that show in LA, and we found out there was like 70 people on the guest list.
What?
And then, it was like explained, like, yeah, these people have money, you know, in LA, and they could easily pay for the show. However, it's not cool to pay for the show. Like, if you're on the VIP guest list, you know, that's what's cool in LA. So, like,
it's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of guest listed people.
It's true.
I mean, it didn't affect how much we got paid or anything like that, but it was just like, okay.
Yeah, guest list is a big deal here. It's not about the money. It's about the clout. It's about the ego.
It's political.
Exactly.
It's very political. It is. I mean, I think it's like a big part of the culture. You know, it's like, I don't wait in line, baby. I'm VIP. I'm on the guest list, and it is cool. You know, like, but I think it's LA's also an expensive city, so it's like getting guest listed. It is helpful for your night if you're like going out and you're doing a couple of different events. You know, I think like when I'm like home in Portland, even though I talk a lot of shit, I never ask to get on any guest lists in Portland. You know why? Because it's gonna be fucking 30 to 50 people there anyways. Like I feel like an asshole asking my friend to like guest list me for like a $5 cover, right? But like in LA, like sometimes shit's pricey, and if you're going to 2 or 3 events, that's like, damn, I only went out for a little bit and I just spent like a couple $100s, like. But
and there's some venues like when we get like the advance, White Oak in Houston for one, they gave us 30 guest list spots.
Holy shit!
30 spots that you could put, and we were like, we'll use like 2 maybe. Like, we're not even from here.
Exactly.
You want me to just, hey, like hang out at the door, like, hey, do you want to get in for free?
Yeah, that's maybe they do that for creepers, right? They just like, because I've definitely been put on guest lists where I'm just like, yeah, you're just creeping, man. You're just creeping. You're just like, yeah, all the hotties get in for free, man. Then if you want, you can come hang out backstage. And I'm like, okay, backstage is a tiny, sweaty little room that smells like Ballsacks. No thanks, bud. Like,
yeah.
But you know,
there's a lot of people that think backstage is really cool, though.
Yeah,
and I'm sure it is at like, you know,
it
like
can be
Led Zeppelin concert or something, but just for anybody else, it's just, you know,
it's cool. Sometimes I don't think I've ever had a backstage experience where I was like, ooh.
I played a show at the Echo once, which is kind of like, I don't know, the Mohawk of LA, or something. I'm trying to think of like
it's a good like mid-level venue.
Yeah, like a mid-level venue, and the backstage is so small. And I remember
it's awkward sometimes. Yeah,
there was just like so many people partying in the backstage. People I'd never even met before, like seen ever. It's like, how the hell did you get back here?
Backstage is for doing cocaine. I don't know.
I don't think anyone was necessarily doing drugs per se, but it was a little ridiculous. It's like I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't move from my chair because if I moved, then, you know. And I'm playing that night.
I like when we do like a solo tour because it's backstage is like just a quiet place, you know, where we go and we can chill.
Yeah.
When we're on the road with like others, usually it's just there's so many people back there that there's no escape, you know.
Yeah.
Can you relate to the pre-show shit experience where like you have to take a dump right before you play?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You knock that out for sure.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily do like I mean I go right when I get to the venue usually.
Yeah.
There's nobody there. It's clean.
Yeah.
I mean if you do have like a green room with a private bathroom, then you're just not worried about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tight.
But if it's just like you play like the Circle Bar in New Orleans where like the door's hanging open, the stall door's broken off,
Oh,
to do that, you go early. You know?
Yeah.
Right before you play, there's too many people.
yeah.
P.S. Tyler, are you tech decking? Are you
Yeah,
skating
no,
right now, bro?
I am, yeah.
Dude, you're shredding right now.
Yeah. I just did a sick 360.
I kind of caught that and I was like, yo, is bro fucking tech decking right now?
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
that's-
I'm trying to do really cool stuff.
That's very sick. I'm like, yeah. Your band. All the music you make, cool. And I'm like,
This is
oh.
a life side quest for me.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, bro, tech decks. That's pretty impressive. I don't have this finger skills to tech
Isn't
deck.
Corey Brim really good at that?
He's so good at
He's
it.
so
He has his
good
own
at
Instagram for it. Yeah.
Really?
He made an actual Instagram for his fingerboard skills.
Wow.
I'm not at that level yet.
Man, we got to get him on the show.
Just for that.
Just for that.
We don't want to ask any questions. Just like show it. Just kick flip it, bro. Just fucking kick
Corey
flip
would
it.
actually be an incredible guest. That dude has stories, is hilarious.
He's hilarious. I think I actually asked him and he was kind of flipping it. He's like, nah. It's okay. I'll hit him up again.
It happens.
Their new drummer is really good. That guy Scott. I watched a couple videos.
Scott's awesome. He's also the drummer at Def Club, which is really cool.
Isn't he an LA guy?
Yeah, he lives both in, or maybe, I don't know if it's actually LA, but maybe a little bit outside of it. But he goes back and forth between Austin and that area because Def Club's kind of his main band.
Okay.
And when Camacho left Glassing, Scott just kind of stepped in to do that.
Right.
Phenomenal drummer.
Yeah, he's really good.
Who's your favorite drummer of all time?
Ooh.
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Neil Peart. I know that's like probably like a lot of people's answers, but he's the greatest drummer.
Neil
I'd
Peart.
say like
Neil Perfect.
After that, like I like Thomas Pridgeon a lot. I like his style.
Yeah.
Danny Carey even.
Danny
incredible.
Carey is fantastic. Yeah.
Sick.
I don't know.
Those are good choices. I mean, they're solid choices.
Shmoo, on the other side, who is your favorite guitar player? Because you play guitar, correct, Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't know too much
asking the
about
guitarist
drummers, but
about the drums, and I'd like to ask the drummer about guitars.
You're asking me my favorite guitarist?
Guitarist. Yeah.
Fuck. Billy Corgan was
At one point,
at one, like,
before his soul was ripped out.
I don't know. I mean, he's still a phenomenal guitarist, but I don't necessarily like what he's doing with it now.
the asshole weighs out the talent, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else I really like on guitar. I don't really think about like, oh, who's my favorite guitarist, who's my favorite drummer. It's just like, what artist do I like?
That's real.
I think, because even if I get interviewed, for example, and I'll get that question often, like, who's your favorite drummer? I never know what to say because I'm like, I don't really care. I don't know.
Right.
That's what you should say.
It's really about like what resonates with me, like with sound. Or, like, the
Yeah,
style of
yeah.
playing it. And I guess for drummers, it goes to like, could I play something with them in the way that I play? And Neil Peart, probably, I don't know, probably not.
I think Zach Hill is a good answer for like the
Zach Hill.
2010s.
Oh my God, he's incredible.
He's a genius.
Music men, nerds love to just kind of like just slob his knob and just kind of like
yeah.
follow him around like a pet.
I saw him play a show in handcuffs.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, with death grips. He played handcuffed like this, and he was killing it.
That's
Playing
insane.
exactly like Phil plays.
Okay, I mean that's pretty tight.
Oh,
He's got
find
me.
it on YouTube somewhere, but he's done it multiple times. It's insane.
That's wild.
I will say though that my main gripe with Death Grips is that like half of the live show is just the third guy pressing play, and then Zach is just shredding, and then MC Ride is rapping. I wish it was like a full band and everything was live, like a 5-piece or a 6-piece, and they're
Right.
actually playing the parts instead of just like DJ and then playing to the DJ.
Yeah, there was a moment where like he had his keyboard set up, but he wasn't really doing anything. He like threw it into the crowd. It was like kept going. Zach Hill shredding, almost rapping. It was cool.
Yeah.
Blake from Workaholics was at that show.
You know, I've seen Blake from Workaholics at Fun Fest back in the day. I wonder if he lived in Austin.
Yeah. This was like the night.
Blake's the curly hair guy, right?
Oh, okay.
Like Death Grips and Blackie played.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we must have seen him at the same time. Yeah, that's Blake from Workaholics.
He lives in LA.
Guy. Okay.
Or maybe he doesn't. I've met. He's been to when I first moved to LA. My friend Conrad moved me here, and he did a lot of booking. And so like I've met him a couple different times. Like he was like at a Trash Talk show. I don't know. If
that's
you know
another
that
Steve. That was on the Steve Albini list, by the way. Trash Talk.
They're insane. I saw them one time, and I had to move away from what was happening in the front.
Ooh,
I hear like total force run on top of the crowd. And it got insane.
Yeah, Lee's wild. He's very fun. He's a fun guy to hang out with. But like,
what's his head like now? His forehead.
That was actually at Fun Fest in the tent. They played in the comedy tent.
Yeah, Trash Talk has like very wild shows. It was like I didn't know anything about the band, but like it was like a very fun like first LA experience, right? And I was just like, wow, this is very sick. I think I'm gonna like living here. I'm like, wow, the Workaholics dude is here. I got guest listed. I'm backstage. I was like, wow, things are looking up for Buttons over here.
Do you think he still impales his forehead though with the microphone?
I think he's a little bit more chill. I don't know.
Chilled out.
He's the guy from Trash Talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the sake of his forehead.
They don't really play.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's really chilled. I think.
Well, I saw actually they did something recently, but it was like a one-off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A reunion type one-off thing.
I love like characters like that because like when he's not on stage, right? When he's not doing Trash Talk, like I went to like a 4th of July barbecue. Cray Sean was there too.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was just like very chill. Like you know, like Cray Sean was there with her like little kid, and there was like some other like people from bands, and like he was just like he's like very sweet, very chill, just like, oh hey, nice to see you again. And I just always love that like you know, when you like see somebody in like their stage persona is just like really like raw and wild and like aggressive, and then like you meet them in real life and they're like a little bit like sweet, a little bit kind of like dorky, and they're just like, hi guys, how's it going? That shit warms my heart. I'm kind of
you warms my heart.
Yeah.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I feel like I'm kind of just like this. I'm annoying wherever you take me. Off stage, on stage. I just need love and attention.
Do you think you're going to do that comedy show tonight?
I think I'm definitely going to do that comedy show tonight. 5 minutes. Who cares if I bomb? It's only 5 minutes. I get to be up there in front of people. And they're a captive audience. They can't go anywhere.
Is there a comedy scene in Lafayette?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We have a few that are great.
I'm
some others that try.
It's kind of amazing how much the Austin comedy scene has blown up since Joe Rogan moved there. It's like he's created like this whole ecosystem around him.
Isn't that what Red 7 is now?
Barracuda? I think it's the place to the left of it. The EDM club.
Okay. I thought he had bought Red 7. I passed by it recently. I went to a show at Empire.
Oh, did he? Oh, you might be right. I mean, it's been a while since
last week, and then like passed by. Well, I couldn't tell if it was there or next door. But
yeah,
it was a totally different vibe than what I'm used to.
Right.
Red 7 used to be.
Yeah.
Comedy shows are a very different vibe from live music in general, and the reason why I'm like I might as well go is because I actually don't like comedy spaces, or I think I don't like other comedians. It's like a bunch of people who like we all think we're funny, right? But it's like it's got like weird like
the probability is that only 10% of you are funny. Probably, right?
Yeah, and the rest of us are just like delusional, and we're just like that kid that was like nobody told us no enough, right? Like nobody
we
was
have such a specific style of comedy. It takes a lot for me to like really enjoy a comedian.
Yeah. I think comedy's a lot harder because it's just you and a microphone and there's nothing to hide behind. Mm-hmm. It's almost my theory is like 1 out of 100 comedians are great, and whereas for musicians it's like 1 out of 10 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers are definitely better. Like,
Numbers are in our favor.
yeah, there's different. I mean, I think a lot of times it's really hard for comedians to be like original. We kind of fall into different categories, right? You know, like you got your meat sauce Tonys, you got your like I'm a woke comedian and all my jokes are gonna be woke jokes, and I'm like, eh.
Right.
You got the hot girl comedy where the punchline is pussy because that's what we're all thinking about, and I'm like, okay, we get it. You're hot. You got a pussy, sure, that's tight. You know, it's it's hard with comedy because right, part of what's funny is that it's relatable, right? But if it's too generic and you know broad, then it's a very hard line to walk.
Plus, there's only a certain amount of people that can make a lot of money, like be at the top, right? Like how many comedians are actually like making
You
a
have
lot
to
of money?
start in other mediums, I think, to make it in comedy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's also easier to practice music and know that others will enjoy it, or at least a few, rather than comedy where it's like you don't really. I mean, you can practice it and like test stuff out with other people,
Right.
But in order to advance as a comedian, like you have to get on stage and you have to give it your all, and you have to bomb over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's really that part's painful for me, and every time I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to be that vulnerable,
Right.
and to suck that badly.
I think I would rather watch. I think I would find it funnier for a comedian to bomb, and then like that would be my style of humor. I'd be like, that was really good. I thought your set was great, but everybody else would probably hate it.
Yeah.
I love those dumb jokes.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I find that all my comedy, like I use a lot of physical comedy, and I'm really trying to like branch out and do something because I'm like, I just always end up on the floor because I'm like, that's funny. Look it, like I'm supposed to be standing, and then I'm wacky, and then I'm on the floor. Like that's laugh, you know. But once again, nobody told me no enough, and so like I have delusions of grandeur, and I'm just like everybody's loving this so much. It's like looking in the mirror while fucking again. all over again.
I would be better at writing jokes than actually getting up there and
Delivering them.
Yeah. It is my backup plan, though. You know, like when I feel like I'm going to be funnier when I'm like 45 to 50.
Hell yeah.
Because then you'll be curmudgeon-y.
Like later in life, and I'll be like the old guy, and I don't really give a shit, and it's more George Carlin
Right.
type situation going on.
Yeah, I like that vibe.
All right. Well, let's wrap the show up. We got to eat dinner before you go out to this next thing, right, Buttons?
Yeah.
Before I go bomb.
Yeah.
Let's
like-
eat something heavy so I shit myself. What was that?
It's like 6 or 7 over there right now, right?
Yeah,
7, yeah.
Yeah, we got time.
Tyler, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for
This
coming
was
on
really
the show.
fun.
Yeah, this was fun.
We're gonna close out with a little live Capra, so you don't have to watch this if you don't want to, but
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here.
But we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Anytime. It was fun to hang out with you.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks for demonstrating
we
your
shall do it
sick,
again.
your sick tech deck
Yeah.
skills.
And we'll actually be, it's looking like we're going to be back in Los Angeles in May.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
I'll see you there.
Yeah,
Sick.
let's do it.
I'll put you on the guest list.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
Do it.
Stroke
Do
our
it.
ego. Stroke our ego.
Right.
Tight.
I'll be like, you have 60 guest list spots. All right, well, I got 2, for sure.
We will be there. We will be folding our arms in the back, tapping our head with stank faces on.
Exactly.
Perfect.
That's how we'll do it.
All right, Tyler. We'll have a beautiful night, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see you in May.
Yeah, we'll see you in May.
Absolutely. Y'all take care. Good luck on your set. I
Thank
hope you.
you.
Don't vomit too hard.
Thank you. I will.
All right.
I will recover. Hopefully, if I do.
Cool. Later, y'all.
All right, peace.
Bye. Well, that was a fun. Close it out with some Capra. Show us the rock and rolls. Thanks, TikTokers, for joining us in our endeavor. You can't see and or hear any of the Capra, but you should check them out on Spotify.
Did you do a thing where it's like, come watch the show on Twitch, or I guess you can do it next time?
No, it's in the topic.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. But people that are on TikTok probably aren't on Twitch at the same time. Or maybe they are. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Love that front woman action.
Damn, Tyler's stretching his fingers wide.
Wide.
That's like 5 frets apart.
Five finger fret punch. I tried. I'm trying to workshop for the show. They're not all winners, but we don't have to be losers. I like how TikTok told me, great job. You've gone live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. It just gave me like the Wii, remember like the Wii game system where they'd be like, you've been playing tennis for a long time. Do you want to go outside and take a break, you fucking loser?
Wow.
TikTok just did that to me.
Are you still
Rude.
live on it?
Oh, yeah, we're still live.
Okay.
We have 3.5K likes on TikTok
What?
for this stream.
3.5 thousand likes?
Yep.
That's insane.
Thought you'd like to know.
Wha-
We opened the show when I was on TikTok with 189 viewers for a good couple minutes, but then it petered out. Now we've only got like a couple of people. We got one. It says one viewer right now.
Wow.
But 3.4K likes.
All right.
It was good times.
So let's eat food because I'm hungry.
Let's eat. Let's go eat some food.
Yeah.
That was very fun.
You're very fun.
I have a lot of fun when I'm with you.
I have a lot of fun when I'm with you as well.
Even when I'm being crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a wonderful, supportive friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a wingnut sometimes. It's called hormones and trauma. All right, y'all. Well, it's been a blast, a jam, a shindig. Let's go fucking eat.
Okay, let's go. Bye.
All right, bye.